Welcome to the Expert Authority Coach podcast, the one-stop spot for entrepreneurs, coaches, authors, and business owners just like you who are ready to rise, shine, and finally be seen as the go-to authority in their field. I'm your host, Christine Blosdale, also known as the Expert Authority Coach, and my mission is to help you build a magnetic brand, grow your visibility, and turn your expertise into real, lasting influence and income. If you want to dive deeper, head on over to my website, expertauthoritycoach.com, where you can explore all the groovy stuff that I've created for you. And you can even book a free discovery call with me. I'd love to hear from you. Once again, head on over to expertauthoritycoach.com to book that free call today. Alrighty, so let's jump into today's episode. Hey, welcome back to the Expert Authority Coach podcast. I am your Expert Authority Coach person, Christine Blosdale, and I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs get seen, get trusted, and get paid for what they already know. And my guest today is also an expert in her own right. Her name is Elle Russ, and she is not only a thyroid expert, but she's a confidence specialist who has over 10 years of experience. She's helped thousands of people in over 20 countries. She is fantastic on expert authority tips and strategies, and I just dig her. And I thought I have to get her on the podcast show. So welcome to Expert Authority Coach podcast, Elle.
So great to be here, and everybody can listen to on my show as well, the Elle Russ Show. We had a nice episode.
That's right. That's right.
I was crossover. We met each other. We're like, let's have a couple of conversations. So yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And you know, we're both all about helping people rise to their expert authority and to really start claiming their expert authority, taking responsibility, but also claiming their expert authority. And why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about your personal journey, how you got to where you are right now? And I know you have a really important story too, how you became this thyroid expert as well. But tell us like how you got to the point where you're at right now with your coaching.
You know, I think it's like a lot of authors and people that are out there helping people. They had something they once struggled with, they conquered it, and now they're out there to share their story, right? So my first one was a medical problem. I kept having all these horrible things happen to me. 30 symptoms later, 24 endocrinologists and doctors in Los Angeles couldn't figure it out, misdiagnosed me. Next thing you know, I become my own doctor and I'm ordering my thyroid hormones through the black market. I'm like a one-woman cartel in sweatpants at my house. I've got the blood pressure machine, the temperature, I'm doing all this myself. And I dosed myself back to health without a doctor. I used doctors for blood tests and then I would, never talk to them again. And so I did that. And then I survived and I was like, oh, whew, well, no one helped me, but thank God that's over. Then a few years later, I had a second bout of a thyroid issue that even less doctors are aware of. So then I was left in the dust a second time in a decade to solve my problems. I had to go be a one-woman cartel again, had to order my thyroid. Never thought I'd have to go outside the USA because all of the things I needed were at every pharmacy stocked wherever we were. So I couldn't find a doctor who was educated, who was informed on this topic because they were using 1973, the year I was born, outdated protocols and tactics. So long story short, I figured it out. That's great. And I figured it out in a time where there were no podcasts. There was there was not even a MySpace or in Facebook. So nobody was out there. And then long story short, ended up meeting sort of the OG of the Paleo ancestral movement. And he had a publishing company. And I said, hey, this story needs to be told. People need to know what's up. And so in 2016, they published the Paleo Thyroid Solution, which was a #1 bestseller, translated into multiple languages. And from there, I created not only great free resources and just shout out if anyone who thinks they have a thyroid problem, just go to freethyroidguide.com. It has also a free video series with it. And I also have like a semester in college worths of course for doctors, practitioners, patients. I have a thyroid course that's, really substantial. And then I coach people around the world. And I also have a telemedicine program for USA and Canada where you can come to me and we can take you through thyroid hormone dosing if needed, NHRT and everything else. So it expanded to all of that throughout these 10 years. But just a sort of short note on that. I'm a number one best-selling author. Yes, my book is great, okay? But I'm a number one best-selling author because I got on 100,000 podcasts myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a PR agent. I didn't pay anybody. No one did anything for me. The publisher wasn't. I mean, look, I did have a platform because I was the host of someone else's podcast. But I went down and knocked the doors. I called up publications. Hey,
Yeah.
article, this. Never hurts to ask. That was the name of the fucking game, and you've got to play it. So you now, I, confidence, other subject. And I know we have a short time, so I'm condensing these stories. But before I got hypothyroidism, when I graduated from college, I was like, my whole life I was like, what's going to get me money so I can like retire early and make a lot of money? And I was very interested in the law. And my grandparents were lawyers, and I was like, I'm going to do that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a performer and like be in movies and stuff, but unrealistic, too unrealistic. So no, 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 I'm not going to do that. Let's go become a lawyer, make some money. I'll become a partner. So I graduated from college, and as I'm applying to law schools, I'm like, I need a dumb job, a secretary, something. I'm right out of college. I'm
Right.
22. So I go get a job, and it turns out I'm the assistant to one of the fastest growing companies in the Bay Area during the entire tech boom of Y2K. And I
Wow.
keep getting promoted and promoted. And the next thing you know, I'm 22 years old. I'm managing 100 men throughout the state of California for Fortune 500 companies, bringing over $2 million a year for that company. And then one day, my hands stopped working. I literally I couldn't lift a fork to my mouth. I couldn't run my fingers through my hair. I couldn't even talk with my hands. I got such severe tendonitis and tenosynovitis in both of my arms, very similar to what a baseball player would have. They pitch and then they're out for a year because the repetitiveness,
Yeah.
and then they come back and forth. So I literally was disabled from my job 3 years out of college at the age of 23. 40% disabled rated by the state of California. When you're in a wheelchair, usually that's 60%, right? Your lower extremities. When your upper extremities are completely effed, like mine are, you're rated at 40%. So here I am in 1998, sitting there going, what am I going to do with my life? I just got chumped. I
Mm.
am now unhireable by 99.9% of the jobs. There's no podcasting back then. There's no freaking YouTube.
No.
It's nothing. So all I got, I'm sitting there in San Francisco in my apartment, and I had my first thought of shame, which was, who's going to want me?
Oh.
Who's gonna want me? I'm not gonna go. I'm 22. My arms are fucked for life. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't go for a guy who wouldn't choose a partner myself who had that problem. Sorry, just being honest, wouldn't. Right? That's what I was thinking. So I was like, oh my God, who's gonna want me? Now, that's a whole chapter in my second book, Confident as Fuck, called Shame Disables Confidence, because that freaking shame was more disabling than the actual disability.
Right.
All
Right.
right. So there's that. Now then, so I go through my life, and I get to the point where I still have it. Last year I had 3 months where I really couldn't use my arms. But for the most part, with everything that I've done over all the years, all the modifications, I know my body so well that I am able to live pain-free. Haha, joke's on me, I'm a writer now. How funny is that? I've been using voice recognition software since like 1998. It's the very first one.
Wow.
And so there's a lot to that whole entire story because I was always confident and this and that and the other, but that knocked me down severely. And I am here to tell everyone that if you think you have a small dumb thing that you're shuffling under the rug, that's not a big deal because you're ashamed about it. It's messing up other areas of your life. And the quick story on that is that I'm effed up areas of romantic personal relationships. I was too afraid to tell anybody that I had something because you can't see it. I can play a game of ping pong with you, and you're not going to know. I have full mobility. I exercise, I swim. You know what I mean? You kind of can't tell. I mean, I'll
Right.
say no if you ask me to help you move, right? But like, I got away with this. So I'd be in romantic partnerships and like, I wouldn't tell them, well, if we fall in love, then I'll share. If we
Oh. Right.
Right. I'll be vulnerable then. I'm too afraid of rejection or what they might think. And also, I'm an alpha female, and I mean alpha in the best connotation of that word, not the podcast bro bullshit hateful guys world that they've bastardized that word, but I'm a true alpha female. We don't like to show any kind of weakness, right? Or perceived weakness, right? And this I was 22 when this happened. So, like it
Yeah.
really just settled in, and so the world was not talking about shame back then, okay? So anyway, it took me a long time to get over that, and I finally did. And when I did, I finally did find the right partner for me, and I ended up getting, married at, 52. I'm 52. I just got married actually a few months
Same
ago.
here. I got married very late in life
Yeah.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So those two things, so basically the two worst things that ever happened to me, two physical things that happened to me, were two of the best things that ever happened to me, and I made an entire career out of. And they were lottery tickets. I was sobbing back then. I thought I was fucking cursed. And they were the biggest gifts that I was ever given. So those are two things. But then I don't have any more tragedies to share, thank God. But here's the thing. Because I was in 1998, was left with my voice. I wasn't thinking writing because my hands were still horrible. It took a couple years to get those right. So I was like, I guess I have to use my voice. I guess I have to go now be an actor. So I went back to Chicago and I did the famous The Second City, which is an improv and sketch
Oh,
comedy.
very famous. Yeah.
Yeah, very famous. It's like the most famous, right? Everyone from SNL goes there. Did that, did a show there, and then I was like, all right, I guess I have to move to LA. I'll be an actor. Came out here, did all of that. While I was out here, hypothyroidism happened. I got really fat from it while I was figuring it out, and I couldn't be the ingenue lead lady anymore. So I said, well, I guess I'll be the fat, funny friend. Went back into comedy, which made me a writer. I
The
performed in
fat,
over
funny friend. Oh my God.
but back then, that was the option. Now we see
Right.
lots of different stuff. But
Right.
back then, it was like you are the pretty chick or you are like the
Fat, funny friend.
sassy, funny friend. So I was like, okay. So I went back in there, but that was a lifesaver because it turned me into a writer because we were writing and performing sketch comedy. I was in over 100 live shows. And I said to one of my friends, hey, have you ever written a screenplay? Yeah, no, let's do one. Hey, have you ever written a sitcom pilot? And as of right now, as this conversation, I'm getting ready to pitch to some of the big networks here. So, all along the way, though, and granted, I had the universe cut those golden handcuffs off of me, figuratively and literally, way back when with the hand disability. I would have never pursued my dreams had I my hands not disabled. I would have never turned down that money. I would have never. The next promotion I was about to get at the age of 23 was for more than $250,000. There was no way I would have ever left.
Right.
So, in a way, it was such a gift. And I have to say that the truth is that sometimes gifts come wrapped in shit, and it takes a minute to discover the present in them. And so that's what those two things for me. So, but one of the things, back to just being an expert or authority, is if you want to do it, if you want to be successful at it, you have to have confidence. And
Absolutely.
you have to have confidence. You can get on stage and talk to 50,000 people and not be confident and get off stage and not be able to have a conversation with your partner because you're still a people pleaser. It's absolutely so that's not confidence. So I would tell people if they're like, what is confidence? Because people get so confused about this. And introverts who are sort of quiet get a little bit offended because they think that people have to be like us, like really,
Out there.
extroverted,
Right.
right? And like out there and just okay with talking to the public. And some of the most confident people are the quietest people in the room. But the truth is, confidence is this. It is literally just the sum of the thoughts you think and the actions you take, both of which you can change. But most people think, I can't change my thoughts. Like, oh, yeah, it can change my actions. I could just do it. The other thing is that you have to become confident before you do a confident thing. Confidence is like compounded interest. It gains you gotta put a little bit and then it keeps growing. It compounds. So you have to do confident things even when it's scary and you're shaking inside and it's not fun, but you start small. And we could talk more about confidence and other stuff in a minute, but those are sort of my journeys. I never intended on being a writer. I never expected that this would happen, but basically all my dreams have come true. I mean, I have been in films and TV as an actor. I have, award-winning documentary film that I wrote. I've got sitcom scripts. I have books, and I'm authority and a subject expert in two arenas. And I have a confidence course, and part of what comes with it is a bonus little course called Communicate, which is like writing, speaking, and all of that stuff. And if you are not willing to get out there and sell yourself, which you need confidence for, you are not going to get far. And so perseverance pays, but if you're a wonderful artist, no one's coming and knocking on your door to say, "Hey, I heard that an artist lived here and there's some great paintings." You
Yeah.
have to do this. And that is the story of my life because it has always worked when I have done that. But I've done it with confidence and I've done it and I've just thrown it to the wind and said, you know what? Because here's the truth. Well, what if it fails? Well, then you're right back to where you are, but you never took the shot.
Right.
So my arm, I am less, look, able-bodied people do accomplish way less than me. If I can do what I do
Yeah.
without the use of my arms, a huge team or a gajillion, like no one gave me $100 million fund to start, you know what I mean? Like it's not as if you can build it, you can do it. So
And
yeah, I'll
that
stop there because I could go on. So yeah.
no, and that's and what you're talking about is the confidence too is so important. And I tell people it has nothing to do with your ego. It is not arrogance. It is, and as a matter of fact, if there's any arrogance or ego attached to it, then it falls flat. But confidence is knowing that what it is that you do, you're damn good at what you do. You're damn good at what you do.
Or you're smart enough to figure it out.
Oh,
So that would be a job
exactly.
interview thing, right? Like, I don't know,
Exactly.
I've never done this before. And you're like, you're smart. Like, but
You
you're
can
like, well,
figure it
but you know
out.
what? I trust in myself that I'll be able to figure it out, right? Like, at least if you
Yes.
have that. Yeah.
Yes. And then you can try things that come across in your life, opportunities that come across, and you go, I'll give it a go. Why not? I'll give it a try. And that's how you grow. You go, oh, I really liked that. I want to do more of it. Or, oh, I hated that. That was horrible. That was horrible. That's not me. That's not what I want to do. But you don't know until you actually try, right?
Great example. There was a time, even though I have a hand disability, I was like, I love stand-up paddling, and my cousin competes in like races. And I thought, like once a year, I could probably handle, like a race for a couple hours, And so I was like, I'm gonna go do it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna become a fucking, yeah, I'm gonna do this. So there was this race in Malibu. It was like a 10-mile stand-up paddle
Oh
race.
my
So I'm like,
God.
I'm doing this. This was years ago. And I was dreaming about this. You understand? This was like before I wrote my book. I was literally like dreaming about like, I'm gonna become a stand-up. I'll get in the surf magazines and like, yeah, that'll be another side quest. And I was like, I could do it. So anyway, I go down to Malibu, I enter the contest, I get in. Check this out. I win first place. Okay, but
No.
yeah, caveat, I was the only woman in my category in the group for like
Yeah.
stand-up paddling, I guess. So basically I had no competitors. So I won because no one was competing
Because nobody
against me.
else
It was
competed.
hysterical.
But you had to do
Yeah,
10 miles?
10
That's
miles. And then, but here's the thing. Let me tell you this. So I told you, I'd been like, yeah, I got to do this. I'm planning, I'm looking for the races, whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I do it. And 4 strokes into that fucker, I was like, never again. But I am
oh,
so glad I tried it to know
yeah.
that I don't want it because I
Right.
wanted it. And I'd still be wanting it or regretting that I didn't try it right now because it
Yes.
would have been some little athletic dream that I never pursued. But I went and tried it. Here's why I hated it. Because it was a race. And I'm in Malibu, California, one of the most beautiful coastlines. This is like one of my favorite stretches of coastline, that 10 miles.
Yeah.
And I get out there and I'm racing and I'm on one side and I'm thinking, I just kind of want to chill
Yes.
paddle
I
this.
just
You
want to
don't want to, like, why did you know what I mean?
just want
I
a
mean, literally,
cocktail.
I knew right away that that career, that
I
little
just
side athletic,
when
but that's why you have to go try this stuff because you don't even know if you're going to like it.
when you
And
said 10 miles paddleboard, walking 10 miles is like for me like a pain in the ass. You're
you
talking
do have the
about
wind. You have the wind. Wait, you got the wind pushing you.
oh
So it's a
no, that makes me
downwinder.
want
Yeah.
to and then
Mhm.
are there sharks out there? Or
Yes.
you didn't
And then
think about that.
also, yeah. And on my way out, I had been so hydrated. I was like ready for this thing. And right when I go out, I hit a wave on the way out to go paddle and I swallowed a bunch of seawater, which is that's anyone happen to anyone. It's horrific. And I was so immediately started the rage, instantly dehydrated, super nauseous. So yeah, but anyway, just going back to you have to try stuff. You have to just go for it. And I've gone for everything. And this is the other thing too. People are just too attached to what they are. Well, what if it doesn't work out?
Yeah.
So
Ah,
many, like for example, for when I was being a writer and like comedy writer and then pulled into being a nonfiction health author, I had a detachment identity moment. Well, but wait, no, but I'm supposed to be. And my comedy friends were like, what? Who are you? Wait, you're an author now? Like you're doing thyroid consulting? Like they were shocked, right? I had to kind of go, but I was like, yeah, but I'm compelled. And then, oh, I'm compelled. And right. And you gotta go. Otherwise, listen, I tell my friends, I'm like, look, if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, God forbid, like I would be so happy with the life I've lived so far. So
yeah.
all of that I told you before that was sort of tragic and awful really lend itself to giving me everything that I wanted in life. But I also could have just done nothing with the past 30 years since I've been disabled, right?
Could have
Um,
gotten a disability and just chilled at home and
I
got
had
riches.
disability. I had disability, and that was a great, like it's more like a preschool child, like a preschool teacher salary. It's not like,
Yeah. Yeah. You're not retiring
but
off of it.
right, I did, and it's not paid by the state. It's like private. But still, there are people that just, I think, lose themselves. They become, and again, maybe some people just aren't curious and don't have interest. But for me, it allowed me to do all of the things I kind of wanted to do anyway. So again, something bad happens in life, give it a minute. It may actually be a true gift. It could be a little bit of a lottery ticket in a way. Like,
Oh, you
yeah,
think about think about other relationships that, you were on the floor sobbing
oh,
about, your heart was splattered all over the place and you were just like, oh my God, no one's ever going to love me ever. I can never trust whatever, if they were cheating or whatever. And
right.
you're like, you think it's the end of the world. And then yet that's making room for somebody way better that's going to come into your life and is going to be your human, right? That's what happened to
I've had
me.
that experience several times in life,
Yeah.
right? And I always tell people when they go through a first breakup and they're devastated, I go, you just need this one to get over. And once you're over this and you find the next person, then if you have another breakup after that, you'll be able to look in hindsight and know what we know, which is,
Yes.
and then that carries you through to maybe a next one because you go, I have the logical, like the reality experience of understanding that I can get over something like that. So I know I'm going to get through it this time,
Yeah.
and that can help too. And, I mean, again, I hope everyone finds their love at first sight, but honest, sometimes right? You got to go through several relationships to find out what you want and what you don't want.
Yes. And as my mother used to say, it just takes time. It just takes time. In time, it all will heal. You will be okay. You know, and then it gives you the opportunity also to focus that love on yourself, because we're so much seeking. I'll be full and I'll be whole when I meet that special person. Well, no, 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 no. You need to be whole by yourself before you go
You
and
have to enjoy your own company or no one
yeah.
else will. And
Yes.
also, before I found my person, I was already completely okay with if I didn't, or if it happened at 70 or 65. I didn't care because I loved my life so much and I loved my friends and I had been through relationships where I've experienced love and great physical stuff and all of those things, which some people never get. So,
Yeah.
if you've been heartbroken, I remember one time I was crying out about a breakup 20 years ago, and my friend was over, and he said something. I was like, "Ooh," he goes, "You know what? I feel bad for you, but I'm also kind of jealous because I don't know what this feels like to feel." And then
Oh.
he did, and then he did have a horrible, and he's fine. He's married now and his kids, and it's great. But yeah, 20 years ago, and I remember being like, "Oh, that's interesting." So, you know, I just looked at it that way, like, "Hey, I really do want this, and I'm intending it, and I'm moving forward to try to find that person." But I've lived such a great life, and I'm okay. Like, it's okay. Would I be happy with this? And philosopher Epicurus always said, you don't need romantic love. You can have for your friends. You just need your tribe. So you have to be good with yourself. It doesn't mean you're giving up and you're settling and you're saying to the universe, I'm okay by myself. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You can say, oh, it better happen, bring it. But
Right.
know that you're like, but I like myself. I want to hang out with myself. I enjoy who I am. The moment that happens, when you get there, you
Oof.
know?
Well, and your only job when if you are in a relationship, your only job is to make sure that you are a happy individual, that you're not dependent on that other person to make you happy, right? Because that's codependency, and then that means that they have the power to turn you on and off like a light switch. And if you yourself are happy, you love yourself, you're enjoy. I'm by myself in this house often for the full day, all day, whatever. I and my wife will say, she goes, "Aren't you bored being by yourself? Don't you miss?" I go, "No, I really like my own company. I talk to
I love it.
myself,
I'm
you
I'm
know."
almost never bored. Yeah.
No, and I'm never bored because I have so many things working on. I have so many
Yeah.
projects that I'm
I
working
could
on.
just stare out the window and enjoy that for hours. So yeah, I don't really get bored. Yeah, I mean, so one of the things about confidence, if people are like, well, where do I start? I would just describe it this way. It- if you look at boats always have to get dry docked because barnacles, right? The little marine crustaceans attach themselves
Yeah.
and to the hulls. And so this is like the biggest pain in the ass for a boat owner. They have to like dry dock it and then they've got to someone's got to scrape them off and it's a nightmare. But here's the thing, like over time, those freaking barnacles, they cause damage, they create drag, like all of those
Yeah.
things. And you know where I'm going with this analogy because it really is a compromising thing. And so, what are the barnacles on your life? They are the parental downers. You got to go back and go, what the hell did I get from my parents? And I'm still holding on to some bullshit stories, right? Then you got to go to who are the downers in my life? Okay, so it's like the parental garbage, it's the downers. Then you've got to look at, am I a downer? Am I supporting other people? Am I fucking down with OPC, which I call other people's confidence? Am I getting out there and encouraging others? So through my book, Confident as Fuck, that's kind of what I do. It's like taking you through, hey, here's all the things you need to clean up to get to this point and to
Yes.
look at this stuff because acting confident and being confident is completely different. And you mentioned earlier about confidence is not ego. It's not. When someone's boisterous and braggy and all that stuff, it feels gross because it is, because it's insecurity wrapped in a bully shell. And bullies are usually very insecure as well. Usually,
Yes.
when you bully a bully back, they cower and they start kissing your ass. And so, it's a really interesting story. But you need to show the world how people treat you, and if you lead with confidence, it is going to equal more success. They've done studies on this. It
Yep.
leads to a happier life and better relationships. So I feel like it's the number one priority for everybody to figure out there. And look, you don't have to go on stage and you don't have to be like my personality, but you need to feel that inside, and you also don't have to be, you know, you can be just confident in yourself as being a wonderful friend, daughter,
A good
husband,
human
like
being.
good human being. You don't need to like write books and like have some resume. A resume doesn't even bring you confidence, right? So I just want to make that clear as well. It's not based on accomplishments, right? The
No.
accomplishment is the feeling and
But
knowing.
it's definitely an energy, and this is what when I work
Hmm.
with, I have most of my clients are coaches,
Hmm.
starting up their coaching business, or they have an established business, but they're not hitting it, and they need help with their branding and their communication, the messaging. And I always I say, do you have the desperation stink? Because there's a difference between that desperation stink and confidence. And confidence is, and I don't mean like sexually attractive, but it's sexy. It Confidence is
Oh,
sexy. Okay.
it's absolutely attractive
It's
because
attractive.
the reason we are attracted to confident people is that they exude an assurity in themselves, and that is so, so, so attractive to most
Yes.
people. Yeah.
Yes. And that scarcity stink, we've all come across that scarcity stink with people. We've seen it, we've smelled it, and it's that desperation, right?
Mhm.
And the having
Well, that's the
having
braggy guy. That's the like out, like
yeah,
the bully ego, talking too much at the party guy. That
yeah.
guy's not really confident, but he seems it, but he's not. Yeah. It's
No,
like,
and you don't have, and you like you said earlier too. You don't have to. You can be the quiet person, in the corner, and exude massive amounts of confidence. You don't have to
absolutely.
be filling up the room all of the time. You don't have to. You don't have to be seen as being busy all of the time. That's the other thing as well. But I love the. I really. I love how you with you, Elle, what's wonderful is that you get to the heart of the matter. Like you don't
Yeah, because
pussyfoot around.
a lot of confidence books and a lot of stuff out there. Look, this is what I don't give generic advice. So like I have a free confidence masterclass and it's an hour and a half and it's just packed with like literal real examples because that's what you need. Give me something to hold on to. Like
Yeah.
something in real life. Don't give me a list of acronyms and things I need to do. Give me a situation. So you're going to learn through a lot of situations. I want to also throw this out there because I did write a book called The Paleo Thyroid Solution. But when we talk about we've been evolving for 2.5 million years, okay? Like we've been around a long time. I mean, not in this present form, but even 150,000 years ago, we were looking like us, right? Without like, the eyebrow waxings and things like that.
Right.
But confidence has an evolutionary edge. It helps us navigate, challenges, tasks, social situations, all of that stuff with ease and propelling us towards our dreams. Now, think about back in the day, because here's the thing. Wallowing in self-pity is a modern luxury, and I just want everyone to hear that because nowadays we've got the luxury of wallowing in despair, self-pity, self-judgment, or doubt, and not back then. Life was harsh, it was unforgiving, it was unrelenting in throwing challenges towards our hunter-gatherer ancestors. Can you imagine them moping around with their heads hung low, judging themselves as failures when they didn't catch the beast? Like, can you imagine that? Like, they may have been disappointed, okay? But to a hunter-gatherer, a victim mindset was death. And I want
Sadly.
everyone to hear that because that is metaphorically true now. And the other, can you imagine, like literally, can you imagine two hunters hanging out? And he's like, I don't know, like, do you think I should be a hunter? Like, I missed it. I don't know if I'm that good. Like, just it didn't happen. Do you, someone died drinking the poison water at the water hole, and they're sitting there crying for 3 days? No, it's like, sorry, but like, we gotta go, you know? So listen, survival required that our ancestors like regrouped and they forged ahead and all that kind of stuff to the next challenge. And that's wonderful. And I'm sure a lot of them did things with a purpose or a goal, but had the outcome not been to their advantage, they accepted it and moved on.
Yeah.
They may try again later or devise an alternate plan.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But they moved forward. So what I want everyone to adopt is that's what we need to adopt is more of that ancestral type of vibe. Onward and upward. How are you going to move forward? Not wallowing in self-pity and victimhood because, people with a victim mentality feel as though bad things keep happening to them and the world is against them and all this kind of
And bad
stuff.
things do keep happening. I mean, when you have that, it's that thing of if you're looking for proof to back up what your beliefs are,
Yeah, confirmation bias.
you
Yeah.
find it everywhere. You find it
Hmm.
everywhere. And someone might say something to you that's completely innocent and doesn't mean anything at all. And it's actually they might be complimenting you. But if you're looking for the proof of like people just take advantage of me and I'm a victim, then you'll find it. And you'll that what that person said, you'll take it in your head and you'll go, they said something horrible to me, right?
Absolutely.
Because
And
we need to back up, we need to get proof. Yes, the world is out to get me, right?
that's right. You confirm it. Yep. See, all men are terrible. Yep. Here's another one. Cheated on
Yep,
me. Up. Here's another one. Or,
yep.
or whatever the thing is. And there's a quote that really kicked my butt that I think is really brutal, but it's really good. And when I say shyness or being shy, I don't mean about the people that are generally quiet and reserved. I mean shyness in the sense of you are truly afraid, right? So there's this quote by this guy, Andre Dubus, and he said, shyness has a strange element of narcissism. The belief that somehow how we look, how we perform is truly important to other people. And
Ooh,
everybody's got to take that to heart
right,
because nobody cares about
right.
you except for you. You're the only one who cares most about you. Likely, you only really have you. You're the only one that can give yourself confidence. It's self-cultivated and self-generated. And that victim mentality or that strange element of narcissism is it's the sort of like a self-aggrandizing. I wish people would look at it a little bit that way so that they would get out of it because it is the surest way to not be happy in life.
Right.
Being jealous, being shy, being a people pleaser, it's gonna just wreak havoc on your whole entire life.
And just think about too all of the people that you with whatever your particular skill set is, whatever your strengths are, they're not gonna those people that could be benefiting from your gifts, they're not gonna get it because you're
That's
holding
right. Yeah.
yourself back.
Yeah.
I find too with because it always goes dovetails into imposter syndrome and whatever people want to call it because there's different names for it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
that idea of what are people going to think? What are people going to say? And I myself, I think maybe in my 20s, I was worried about what people were going to think about me. Definitely when I was in high school, because just a fucked up experience. You don't want to stand out. You want to be accepted in the tribe so much. But as I got older, I was like, I decided for myself, I don't care what people think about me or what they say about me because I'm so confident in who I am that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I work really hard, that I try my best, that I am someone who wants to help people. So there's no truth in what if somebody sees something in me that's not true, there's nothing truth about it. There's nothing that I can argue with it. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think
Yeah.
about you, right? But
Yeah,
I
I've
think
met
for
a
young
lot. It
people
does.
that's
It really
hard.
doesn't. It is
I
hard. It's harder, and I'm impressed anytime I meet a young person that has just really
yes.
determined.
Our
I
daughter
really
is that
am.
way. Our daughter is that way.
Oh, good. You're
Yeah.
you're raising her right.
She's
But
like,
yeah, you know,
I don't give a flying fuck.
I mean, kind of, you know. Now listen, we all want to be, look, they're like, we don't, I want people to buy my book or trust me to help them with their, like, eh, sure, but it's really about how it's internalized or not. And so really the path to success that I think is, well, that is the most sustainable is the intrinsic way to success, not the extrinsic, where the extrinsic way to success is like, and I've seen this in kids where the kid is doing it because they want to be like, oh, you followed the rules and you did that and like good for you and they want to be like liked. The other kid that's trying to for success is more like, wait, what are the things I got to do? Great, I'll get there. They're doing it for like them. They don't
Yeah.
care, they don't need the other stuff along the way. Both can attain success. One is a lot more sustainable.
Yes. Oh, that's such a good story there. I mean, I
So,
can
yeah.
totally visualize that. Oh my God. Okay, I can go on and on forever with you,
I know,
Elle.
I know.
But I want
So
people to, because I can feel the audience is getting jazzed, they're getting energized, and I want to keep them on that path.
yeah.
So, what's the best way for folks to connect with you? Maybe to either test out their confidence or to have a conversation with you. What's the best way for people to reach you?
Everybody just go to my website, which is my name, which is ellruss.com, ELLERUSS.com, and you can click on Thyroid Solutions or Confidence Solutions or, you know, work with me or free stuff. If you're interested in either the thyroid or the confidence, just click on free stuff. Both have, you know, extensive video series, a confidence masterclass for free with a workbook to
Oh,
just
that's
get you
so good.
started and also just see like, you know, how do I like maybe I'm not the vibe for you, but go check it out. And if you gain something from that, maybe you want to take my course or coach with me privately. So aside from just confidence stuff, I also work with writers and people who are like, I want to create a course or a book or a script or something like that. And that's like a separate thing. But if you're just starting out in any of those areas and need help with either, just go to lruss.com and click on free stuff or take a look around.
And I love that you're making it available too for free so people can bite
Yes.
into it. You know, there's no excuse now, folks. So you can
It was
actually
more than a bite. It's an hour and a half masterclass. Like,
hell
and
yeah.
listen, and
And
if
a
you see
workbook.
how non-generic my advice now is, you'll probably like the confidence masterclass and definitely the thyroid one too, if that's where you're struggling. But
Yeah.
I always give a plenty of stuff for free because, you know, there's so many people out there, you know, claiming to be this or claiming to be that, or you watch a webinar and you're like, damn it, I didn't get anything from this. It's all basic. It's all basic, ethereal, elusive, and you know, that's not my style. I'm very detailed and obviously, and you know, really get it. I love, we didn't do any really right now, but there's a lot of really great personal examples and examples with clients and things like that that comes through in that masterclass on confidence that I think is really, really worthwhile.
Well,
So anyway,
I'm gonna
thanks so
check it
much
out
for having me.
myself. I'm gonna check it out myself
Awesome.
because it's quite valuable, and I think we all can use reminders as well. You know, about
Yeah,
stepping into our confidence. It can only help your business. It can only help if you are thinking about
it
writing a
will
book
help it.
too. It really
Yep.
helps because a lot of times that's what holds a lot of people back from writing that book. It's like, well, who am I to write a book about the, you know,
Yeah,
it's
well, you know what? Also, too, there's a lot of people that are really confident. They have a PhD. I heard someone once say, "I really know my stuff. The problem is, I just not confident." Again, like you said, can't get it out there to then share. So sometimes that's the only missing piece. It's like I'm confident in my ability to do X, but not in the ability to go tell everybody and go put myself out and go do something with it versus just sit with my dissertation in the living room. You know what I mean? So yeah.
yes. Oh, you nailed it. No, that's absolutely true. And they and people who, if you feel that you're in that situation, there are folks like Elle who can help you, right?
Yeah.
So don't keep all of that brilliance bottled in, and find a platform for it because it might be a book, it might
Yeah.
be a podcast, it might be your having your own podcast, it might be just starting to do those damn TikTok videos and getting it out there. But you need to take
Yes.
action. Do not think that somebody's going to magically find you somehow if you're not getting seen and you're not getting heard. That
Yeah.
you need to be
And it's
seen and
never
heard.
too late. It's never too late. I have a
Never too late.
59-year-old success story with confidence. It's never too late. Get on it. Yep.
Get on it. All right, Elle. Thank you so much again for joining us. Her website is ellruss.com. Don't worry if you want to have that link is in the show notes, so you don't have to worry about the spelling or anything like that. And I'll make sure that you have access to that. And also, if you want, in the show notes is a link to my personal website, which is expertauthoritycoach.com. You can find out all the cool, groovy things that are happening in my world by going to that. And if you got motivated by this and if you think this can be helpful to someone else that you love and care about, share it with them. You can share it through your social media or even do an email, send it to them. Say, you have to listen to this. This will give you a nice boost in your confidence, or at least get you excited about it. And until next time, thank you so much again, Elle. Thank you so much, listeners,
Thank you.
for listening today. And we will talk to you real soon.